Hello and welcome to another exciting day in my beekeeping diary. As you can see, there's a lot of activity going on in the hive, a lot more than what has happened the last few days. I've opened up another hole so the bees have more entrances to go in and out, and it's a very hot sunny day. Aim for today is to go through, open up the hive and just check inside, one for the ants, and two to have a look at the frames that I've put in with the wax on it. As you may have seen from the last video I made, the frames were just bare plastic, and from what I've been told by all the other beekeepers on the forums is that my frames needed to have a coat of plastic on them, otherwise the bees weren't going to take to it. And I'm glad that I actually found this out during the first week, rather than waiting halfway through a couple of months and finding out there that the bees hadn't actually done anything on my frames because there was no wax on it. So just about to open it up. I've got a little bit of smoke here. I'll just go through, blow some smoke in, try and calm these guys down. This is actually the first time I've opened the hive up with this much activity, so just go around the back like I normally do, and I'll just open up the hood and we'll have a look inside and see how things are going. Not intending to be in the hive too long, again, because you don't want to interrupt the bees any more than what you need to. Through, take the cover off, a little bit of smoke on top. There are a lot of bees hanging around, and I can actually see at the moment, without actually opening up too much, that there are bees actually walking around inside these plastic frames that I've got that have been covered up in wax. So here's just a look of the plastic frame that I've got the beeswax on. So I'll just move a couple of these out the way and have a look closer to the brood and see if any of the bees have started drawing out the plastic frames yet with the wax that I've actually got on it. So just a little bit more smoke around here. There's a lot of activity going on today, which is something I haven't seen in my hive before. I'm just going to move it back and have a look. There's heaps of bees just walking around at the moment. So here's a couple that you can see on the frames. They're just walking around. Doesn't look like they've actually started drawing anything on the frames, on these plastic frames yet. However, they're still going around doing the honey on this frame here. So I'll just move this frame out and we'll have a look at the honey stores that I've got at the moment. So this is the honey stores. They're starting to fill up this side here now. You can see the bees running around. Turn it over and I've got a little bit of white capping that they've done on this honey here at the moment. Put that back in. Again, being very careful not to actually squash any of the bees. I can smell quite a bit of honey at the moment. It's a real nice sweet smell. Lift this one up nice and slowly. It's quite a heavy frame, this one, for having a look inside. You see quite a few bees. Turn around nice and slowly, having a look, and you can see the brood at the moment just around the top. And by the looks of it, there's a bit of honey stores in this one as well. And place it in nice and slowly, being careful of my bees not to actually squish them as I put the frames back inside. Move the next one out. slowly around, have a look. Coming around again, having another look inside. And the other thing, I can see the queen here, you can see the queen walking around the bottom of the frame here. And while I'm having a look here, I'm also having a look inside the brood to see if I can see any new larvas and stuff like that inside the brood. The other good thing to look out for is having a look to see if there's any patches going through in the brood pattern. So the brood pattern should actually start off going around in a nice spiring direction, so it looks nice and even rather than just having a big pile of patches all over the place. If it's all patches in there, it could indicate that there's a bit of disease going on in your colonies. At the moment these here will look quite good. So I'm just going to put this last one back in, and then I'll put the frames back where they were, and I'll close it up and leave the bees as they are. Just got to be real careful not to squish the bees. Nice and slowly putting these frames back in. Put the last remaining frame back inside. Nice little look. Again, doesn't look like any of the bees have started drawing out the wax on the plastic frames that I've put in yet, but there is a lot of activity going on, so I'm quite happy with that. I'll close it up and leave it for another week, and we'll see how the bees are looking from there. Just gotta make sure all those bees get off the top so I don't actually end up squishing any of the bees. Just gotta be real careful that you don't use too much smoke or blow it directly on the bees, so you don't end up actually burning the bees with the heat. So here we go, just slightly place it down, and the bees should actually be okay underneath it because I'm not putting any weight on top. Put that down again. So we're done. Close the lid, and I was actually quite surprised that there's no ants inside it. So again, that's a nice successful entry in the hive. So yeah, that's me for today, and I'll see you in another week, and hopefully I'll have more progress to report. See you later.